I got a text from a friend the other day on some "we really meant to be running around in the bushes naked, eating berries and vibing. F*** this 9 to 5 bullshit. I'm not with it. Put that in a video or so help me God." So, in this video, we're going to figure out why everyone hates their jobs so much, because that seems to be the general consensus. It's a question worth asking. Are there people that go to work every day that simultaneously don't want to die? Well, statistically speaking, no. Only 15% of the world's 1 billion full-time workers are engaged at work. Engaged at work, I'm going to interpret as actually doing your job and maybe even somewhat enjoying it instead of just looking up WikiHow articles. But why does work suck so much? Why is it so stressful? Why is it so aggravating? The first question we would want to ask when addressing this problem is there anything fundamentally wrong with the way modern jobs are structured? Is there anything fundamentally wrong with the 9 to 5 workday? Well, believe it or not, the answer is actually no. The human body has developed over thousands of years as we participated in savage, rudimentary, and unfulfilling tasks, all as mere stepping stones to prepare us for the peak of our functionality. Spending 8 hours a day hunched over a desk, staring at a computer screen. Anyone who thinks that this is not the pinnacle of human existence is simply lying to themselves. And then you might say, well, in that case, why is it that everyone still wants to die? Well, if you ask the baby boomer generation, they would tell you that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the opportunities or structure of today's job market. What the problem really is that kids these days, they don't have what it takes. Millennials, they're entitled. They've got bad attitudes. They have no idea what hard work looks like. But you know, it's funny coming from the generation that raised the millennials, as if it's just a coincidence, as if they all just chose to not be taught important life skills. Like, yeah, Cheryl, it's definitely your kids' fault that no one taught them how to conduct themselves like an adult. But, for starters, the labor market has definitely changed since the days of the boomer. Back in the day, I swear, all you needed to land a well-paying job with health care and a pension and all of that was a room temperature IQ and a pulse. I'm not joking. I see these old people, and it's like, okay, so you were working for this company, making an amazing salary, getting loads of benefits and healthcare and all of that, and now you're retired and you're still getting a pension from that company, but you're an idiot. So what exactly were you doing for that company? What value were you providing? How did you get that job? Because those jobs don't exist anymore. See, the way I see it is there's a bunch of different factors that came together after the age of the boomer that has made the labor market less desirable. There were certain negative trade policies with other nations, certain government monetary policies, a large influx of immigration, as well as a certain demographic entering the workforce en masse, which as a result drastically increased the supply of labor, therefore decreasing the demand, which as a result caused a stagnation of wages for everyone. Not going to get into that one right now, but we have all these factors plus many more coming together to create an economy which in reality kind of sucks. There are two different metrics that you can go off of to determine how the economy's doing. There are the ones that boomers care about, which is, oh, my 401k is up and the value of my house is up. Therefore, everything's going fine. And then there are the metrics that everyone else cares about. Kids are coming out of college with 25 to 30k in debt with a piece of paper that in many cases can't even get them a good entry-level job in their field of choice. Adjusted for inflation, wages haven't been going up, but the cost of living has. Specifically house prices. Boomers will say shit like, oh, remember, your home is your greatest asset. The value of real estate always goes up. Does anyone ever think that that might not be a positive thing? Does anyone ever think about what that means? Yeah, you know that thing that's very fundamental to establishing yourself as an adult and starting a family? Yeah, it keeps getting more and more expensive every year. Isn't that great? The boomers don't care. By and large, they have their houses paid off, but the younger people, oh, you can't afford a house? You can't even reasonably afford an apartment? Well, looks like you're gonna have to get in the pod. See, what the real issue is not only do these people have shitty, soul-crushing jobs, for most of them, their only motivation to go to that shitty, soul-crushing job every day is paying for their basic living expenses and then maybe consuming the next new shiny, expensive waste of time. Because they don't have a deeper motivation than that, they don't have any families. Marriage rates for the baby boomers is 90%. For the Zoomers, it's 80%. For millennials, it's 33%. And don't think that the millennials are too young to get married, because they're not. Do they want to get married and start families? I don't know. Bottom line is, they can't afford it. What the baby boomers told them is that what was going to make them fulfilled in life was an exciting career. And then they got their working lives established. Now they're alone in their one-bedroom/studio apartments because that's all they can afford, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to sustain their materialistic, self-absorbed lifestyles with no family and no kids. And they wonder why they're so sad and unfulfilled. We got millennial women who sterilize their bodies so they could compete with men in the workforce. But then they get into the workforce and then they get into their 30s and they realize, oh shit, I don't want a career. I want to have kids. But they spent the last decade destroying their bodies with birth control and alcoholism, and they have absolutely no homemaking skills, so no one really wants to have kids with them. And on the flip side, we got young men spending their time watching porn and playing video games and smoking weed and idealizing losers, thinking that this is something to aspire to. Like, oh wow, Dan Bilzerian is so cool, he drives cool car and he's got a mansion, he's always hanging around with a bunch of supermodels. No, Dan is a loser and he's got no kids and he doesn't even pay for any of his stuff. So, does the modern workplace suck? Maybe a little bit. But even though we were truly meant to be running around naked, eating berries, and killing meat monsters, at the very least, the generation before us could go to work at their desk job and then go to the supermarket and buy a piece of meat on a styrofoam tray and then bring it back to the family for dinner. And that at the very least would make them feel important. But now, we don't even have that anymore. But you still gotta go to work. But for what? So you can see the next Marvel movie? So you can buy more box wine and get drunk with your cat on a Tuesday evening? So you can buy the next half-baked video game for $60 and then spend another $40 on DLC? That is the fate of the millennials. So the question is, will the Zoomers follow suit? No, obviously not. That would be cringe. Maybe your job sucks, but you also spend your time getting drunk every night, and maybe your life's tough. You wonder, maybe it's your parents' fault, but maybe you're just a piece of shit. Did you ever consider that one? It's a strong possibility. Are you an adult and you're getting drunk on, first off, at all, but like on weekdays specifically? Do you not have anything better to do? Do you not have responsibilities to take care of? Like, what are you, an edgy teenager who just found his parents' liquor cabinet so you and your friends are going to go get drunk? No, you're an adult. Get a hold of yourself. Maybe that's why you're so sad and unfulfilled, because maybe you have a dead-end job, but you're not doing anything about it, because you're wasting all your free time acting like a child. That's what you are. You're a child. Get a hold of yourself, bud. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you later.